Alright, hey guys. As you know, this is Jean Paul Mars coming at you from Glenville, Georgia right now. I am known as Ebony Keeper. Some people call me Ebony, especially when I'm dueling and beating them in Yu-Gi-Oh! Alright, so, alright, y'all know I only make a post when, something's important, or, I came out of a meditation, or I'm reading an amazing book. Well, it is the latter, my friends. Wow, today has been a very, very curious day, but I want to highlight, this is the 10th time I've read this book, Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill. And every single time I've read it, I have a new insight. I have a new epiphany. I realize things on a deeper level, and it really brings to mind what a successful person once said. I can't remember who it was, but there was some people along the lines. It was like this, right? There was like most people, think that you got to read like all these successful books, yada yada, and that's dope. That's great. That's exactly what I'm gonna do. But there was like, honestly, if you took some of the greats out there, like Outwitting the Devil, like Think and Grow Rich, like, Losing My Virginity by Richard Branson, like freaking Change Your Thoughts, Change Your Minds by Dr. Wayne Dyer, like freaking what was that one? What was that one by Josh Watskin? God, it's killing me. It's totally killing me. Let me pause this. Alright, that legit took me 20 seconds. The book was called The Art of Learning. Josh Watskin. Amazing. And they recommend reading these books 5 times each, right? So, this is the 10th time I've read Outwitting the Devil. It's been, I took a break. I took a break from reading it again because it's just been like, the more you go through in life, and then when you return to a book that really affects you, like you get to have like a really just sensitive, like an incredible moment with yourself, right? So this past time today, I listened to it at work, popped the headphones in, whatever. I was in the zone. I had heard everything. There was parts I was like, did I even hear that before? Like, it was almost as if my mind has expanded now from all the things I've been through, that it was like, I'm ready for the information, right? So, first of all, to give you a backstory, why do you need to even listen to me right now? Why do you even need to know about who, this book, or who Napoleon Hill is, right? So, if you don't know, Dale Carnegie was Napoleon Hill's mentor, right? And he was one of the most richest, if not the most richest person alive 100 years ago. And in 1908, he gave his assistant by the name of Napoleon Hill an assignment. He said, for the next 30 to 40 years of your life, I'm going to personally introduce you to some of the most successful people alive today. And I want you to interview them. I want you to break down, like, how they became who they became, like, all the nitty gritty stuff, like the things that would have taken out like people of lesser will and all that stuff. And I actually wrote a spoken word piece based off this book, like the first time I read it or something like that. And I'm gonna share it with y'all on this post as well, because why not, right? And yeah, and he said, I want you to share that, disseminate that information to the rest of the world, right? So Napoleon Hill is a trusting, awesome, like, guy. He's like, got you, coach. And for the next 30, 40 years of his life, like, he actually does that, interviews so many people. He writes 13 books from all those experiences. And in 1937, and I love the fact that he included the Hitler regime in we're talking about like real down and dirty deep stuff right here, right? This is not for the weak, meek-minded people, right? Littlefoot, don't attack my feet, man. My cat always gets, what's this word in English? I always get jealous when I'm on the phone. Like, I'm not even talking to anybody, but I'm talking to you guys. I don't know. But yeah, so the hell is it talking about? Yeah, so Think and Grow Rich, right? So he, in 1937, he wrote this book, Think and Grow Rich, and even still to today, almost 100 years later, that book is, really well by its soul. I didn't say that right, but yeah, I know English is like, I used to speak Creole. This is just not me. Lofa, I will bring you into this video. This nigga, so jealous. But yeah. Okay, I'm sorry, guys. I'm getting distracted, right? So, he writes Think and Grow Rich. Now, Think and Grow Rich, the whole point of that book is like, there are a lot of people. Okay. Every single human being, when they're born, the environment that they're growing, the people that are around them, their parents beliefs, their parents' religion, all these different, factors factor in what kind of character builds into that person that you are today, what you regard as your character, your personality, all that good stuff, right? So, Think and Grow Rich is all about like, realizing the negative beliefs that was implanted in your mind about success, and reprogramming them, deprogramming out of your mind, and then reprogramming your mind for what is actually success, and it was awesome. I'm having to read it again because, you know, I haven't gotten to 10 times with it as I have with Outwitting the Devil, so obviously. But, you know, a lot of people read that book, and then, you know, those who have allowed negativity to completely either take control of their mind, or those who are fighting against it and just trying to figure out a way out of depression, all these things. And they were like, you know what, you know, I read this book, Napoleon, but I don't believe it's possible for me. You know, I'm depressed. I went through this and that in my life, and, you know, all this stuff, you know, I don't believe it's possible for me. And, you know, he thought about it over a year. A year later, 1938, he wrote the book Outwitting the Devil. And it's like, you know, it was fascinating. It's kind of sort of like fiction if you want to take it like that. Depends on how your mind is, you know, when you read this book. But, and it's a free book to listen to. Both of them are free to listen to off YouTube. Y'all don't have no excuse. I don't care. After you watch this video, please do me a favor and read the whole audiobook, or get the physical book, whatever. Read both at the same time. I know people who did that, of Outwitting the Devil, and do yourself a favor, you know? And then when you're done with it, freaking, if you have kids, make sure they read that book. That's more important than any book they ever read in school. This book ousts pastors. This book ousts everybody, politicians. Like, it's amazing. If you're weak-minded, you definitely need to read this book. Like, I don't even give a damn. But anyway, I used to be weak-minded, so we just gonna be honest here, alright? So, right. Anyway, so the whole premise of the book is that, like, he figures out a spell to telepathically speak to the devil. And, you know, any question he asks the devil, because of the spell, the devil cannot lie to him. And it's not the devil as any of the, you know, 24 or 4,200 established religions on the planet, each with their own different Bibles, each with their own iteration of the devil and God and what you should do with your life and yada yada. None of that stuff, right? It's actually the devil as being the negative part of the electron. And God, or whatever you want to call it, is the positive side of the electron, right? Fascinating stuff. And, you know, he gets the devil to actually talk about all the ways that he controls the human mind. And it is fascinating. I remember the first time I listened to it. Wow, my best friend. We were in New York, and we were like, they were dropping me off from Queens, from Brooklyn, to Queens, where I used to live. Now I'm in Glenville, and Georgia. And my friend literally like had like a seizure in the passenger seat. We were like, "Yo, what is wrong with you? What happened just now?" And he's like, "Guys, I read this book at 1 o'clock in the morning, and I was afraid of what I dreamed about when I went to sleep." And we were like, "Oh, okay. What was the name of the book?" And he was like, "Outwitting the Devil" by Napoleon Hill. And everybody else was like, "Yo, that's crazy. That's weird. I don't know about that. You could keep that over there. I'm not interested." Y'all know John Paul. Y'all know Ebony. I'm here for the weird stuff. I'm here to live my life at the highest frequency. I don't care what I gotta do, so long I'm not swimming with sharks. I'm not interested in swimming with sharks. I could jump out of an airplane. I'm not gonna swim with sharks. Anyway, and I was like, bro, you gotta, Corey, you gotta tell me what this book is. Give me the link. And once we got home, once they dropped me home, I was in it. I was in it to win it. And I just remember listening to the book. The book's like 3 hours and 41 minutes, right? Easy. I've read Sapiens, which is a 16-hour audiobook. Easy. 3 hours is nothing. Right? And I was like, yo, I remember when the book finished, the y'all don't understand, right? They were so afraid of the church's reaction, the book was actually banned from 1938 to 2011. 73 years. Bro. You know, so we have it today. The voice actor they hired to play the devil is so convincing. I remember when I was done with the book, it was like 3 in the morning, something like that. And I was so mad. I was just mad that so many people, he was just boasting about how many people he controls, you know, and how many people he's controlled over millennia, you know, and, you know, how people wouldn't read this book and all this stuff. Once I was done with the book, I was like, everybody I know and care and love about will hear about this book from me. And if they read it or not, that's up to them. I did my duty. Alright, so now, today, you guys are getting this book for you and yours, alright? Anyway, and, you know, I wrote this piece. So I'm not going to keep this post too long or whatever the case may be. You guys know I'm crisp. You guys know I'm to the point, and I'm out of here because I got stuff to do. Alright? So, this is the piece. So it goes... Oh, I'm sorry, and I should probably tell you. I based this piece off Outwitting the Devil, I based this piece off my ex. He has like ADHD. And when he gets mad, he calls that like the beast or something like that. And I based it off that, and I based it off this other book by this billionaire named Tony Robbins, who wrote the book Awaken the Giant Within, which is all about like, it spreads this concept that every single person on the planet, every human being, has this sleeping giant inside them. And the more books that you read, the more interesting experiences that you have, the more fears, personal fears that you overcome, the more you sort of gradually awaken this giant. And then you start to, awaken certain like characteristics in it, like, a stronger self-belief, a definiteness and purpose. All these. The parasite. Wicked skeletal spine caresses my vulnerability. Searching for the weakness, all fingers conclude by pointing back at me. Am I reliable? Am I strong? Do leaders look up to me? Hydra questions will warp tunnels through my established physiology, signaling pain points, hinting at underlying epiphanies. Where did this all begin? 10 years ago, I was naive. 10 years ago, I was closeted. 10 years ago, anyone's words could inflict pain straight to the membrane, and so I didn't have a way to alchemize that energy overlay. So I absorbed the unrest, wolfed down all this confusion. An illusion protruded, including nightmares that had been brewing. Call it the parasite, a will-sucking puppet creature gorging on my dreams, shitting out fear for me to get spiritual indigestion heaves. Before this, I was only John Paul. Before now, I didn't need to know how to fight, but the pain has whittled out a hole so wide, further passivity will only equate a shallow-lived life. I must awaken my inner giant tonight. He feeds off of the truth, replenished by productivity, but when he speaks, movies call it paranormal activity. Ignore the dreams and used to mute all of his messages, but his energy fills me with such a warm tempest. I know now what to do. I've avoided this fight for all my life, but the bridge between parasites and giants has been crushed down to a warm pulp as a confrontation is due for climax. No one ever told me being a human was death or metamorphosis, where freedom incarnate, lubricated by gratuitous movements that I am, great view far away from awaiting catastrophe, as my giant sizes up the parasite in a broad capacity. This is it, he booms, voice disrupting gravity. So I hit my head on the roof and fall down to my hands and knees. That's him, I say, albeit a bit fearfully, as the thing with 20 eyes swing 8 over my way, as if for the very first time fully seeing its prey. But the remaining 12 eyes are still sizing my guy up, drooling from the blackened meat feast he was interrupted at enjoying. A gargantuan abdomen ejects out filth, and this is when my giant went from bored to annihilation as his temple was being defiled by Leviathan infestation. I look about inside me, searching from crevices to spirit, even going through the layers of mental that deems the whole existence as present, and I'm free. Nothing more is burrowing inside my flesh, as it's back to pink and blood flows true. Call me the exterminator. Ebony Keeper's got the devil schooled. Read the book, Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill, and put some new life energy into your life. I dare you to write about it as well. Take some notes. Mad love, guys. Ebony out.